Hello. My hair looks extremely red. My goodness. We're doing sort of queer literature and queer poetry this week. I have a few things to say because I'm not massively informed about this topic. The main thing that I was going to introduce you guys to, and I'm going to put one of her poems at the end, is a lady that Valerie mentioned, who she's actually seen speak, which I'm very jealous about, Miss Stacey Ann Chin. Stacey Ann Chin. She is, yes, a lesbian. She grew up in Jamaica. She's a very powerful speaker, and I discovered her I went through a phase of watching a lot of slam poetry on YouTube, which there is a lot there. There's this poem that she did called If Only Out of Vanity, which I will put at the end of the video, I should think. It's very, very good. I highly recommend you get into that. And if you feel like you want to be a bit empowered, I recommend watching a few of the slam as poets on YouTube, because they're a very good watch. There's also a lady called Maida Diwali, I think, who is straight. She doesn't do lesbian poetry, but her poems are very pro-woman, very sort of feminist. So if you want to go down that route, she's got a very good speaking voice. The way she delivers, it's very fast. If it hits you, it's very poignant. I discovered something on my research called the Lambda Literary Award, which is for LGBT literature in general, fiction, non-fiction, and they have different awards for bisexual poetry, bisexual fiction, bisexual non-fiction, all the way down lesbian, gay, blah 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 blah. And the winner of the lesbian poetry this year was a lady called Anne Swanson, I think. Yes, no, Anna Swanson, my mistake. And she's done a book called The Nights Also. I would very much like to come into possession of this book, because I've tried looking for her full poems online and I can't find a full one. But the excerpts that I've read online seem very, very good. Some political, some erotic, some poignant. Yeah, that's about it. I have things to do now. I will see you later.
If only out of vanity I have wondered what kind of woman I will be when I am well past the summer of my raging youth. Will I still be raising revolutionary flags and making impassioned speeches that stir up anger in the hearts of pseudo-liberals dressed in navy blue conservative wear? In those years when I am grateful I still have a good, sturdy bladder that does not leak undigested prune juice onto diapers no longer adorable, will I be more grateful for that than for any forward movement in any current political cause? And will it have been worth it then? Will it have been worth the long hours of not sleeping that produced little more than reams of badly written verses that catapulted me into literary spasms, but did not even whet the appetite of the 3 o'clock crowd in the least respected of the New York poetry cafes? Will I wish then that I had taken that job working at the bank, or the one to watch that old lady drool all over her soft-boiled eggs as she tells me how she was a raving beauty in the 60s, how she could have had any man she wanted, but she chose the one least likely to succeed, and that's why when the son of a bitch died, she had to move into this place because it was government subsidized. Will I tell my young attendant how slender I was then and paint pictures of the young me more beautiful than I ever was, if only to make her forget the shriveled paper skin, the stained but even dental plates, and the faint smell of urine that tends to linger in places built especially for revolutionaries whose causes have been won or forgotten? Will I still be lesbian then? Or will the church or family finally convince me to marry some man with a smaller dick than the one my woman uses to afford me violent and multiple orgasms? Will the staff smile at me, humor my eccentricities to my face, but laugh at me in their private resting room saying, she must have been something in her day? And most days I do not know what I will be like then, but every day, every single day, I know what I want to be now. I want to be that voice that makes Giuliani so scared he hires 2 butch black bodyguards. I want to write the poem that the New York Times will not print because it might start some kind of black or lesbian or even a white revolution. I want to go to secret meetings and under the guise of female friendship, I want to beg the women of those young and eager revolutionaries with too much zeal for their cause and too little passion for the women who follow them from city to city, all the while waiting in separate rooms. I want to be 40 years old and weigh 300 pounds and ride a motorcycle in the wintertime. 4 hell-raising children and a 110-pound female lover who writes poetry about my life and my children and loves me like no one has ever loved me before. I want to be the girl your parents will use as a bad example of a lady. I want to be the dyke who likes to fuck men. I want to be the politician who never lies. I'd like to be that girl who never ever cries. I want to go down in history in a chapter marked miscellaneous because the writers could find no other way to categorize me in this world where classification is key. I want to erase the straight lines so I can be me.